Welcome to the Things of the Stars Sleeping with Science series. These journeys invite you to slow down, quiet your thoughts, and drift into rest while exploring the wonders of the universe. If you enjoy these moments of calm discovery, support us by subscribing to this channel and visiting thingsofthestars.com. Take a long breath and picture the world turning below you. Cities sparkle like constellations on land. Clouds form spirals above the oceans. Beyond the curve of the Earth, a thin blue line glows where day meets night. That glow is sunlight scattered through air. Every sunrise and every shadow begin with a single thing: light. Light travels at the ultimate speed limit of nature. 300,000 kilometers every second, constant and unbroken. It moves in straight lines through the vacuum of space unless gravity bends its path. It carries energy, color, and information across billions of years. Each photon is both particle and wave, both spark and rhythm. For most of history, no one knew what light truly was. Ancient philosophers thought vision came from rays cast by the eyes. Later thinkers realized that sight begins when rays enter the eyes instead. Around the year 1000, the scholar Ibn al-Haytham studied how light travels through holes and lenses. He showed that light moves in straight lines, and that images form when those lines converge on the retina. Centuries later, Galileo aimed a simple telescope toward the heavens. He saw the moons of Jupiter, the mountains of our moon, and the countless faint stars hidden in the Milky Way. All of that knowledge arrived as light, crossing the void quietly for ages before reaching his eye. Every discovery in astronomy still begins the same way. To understand light is to understand time. When you look at the moon, you see it as it was a little more than 1 second ago. When you look at the sun, you see it as it was 8 minutes ago. When you gaze at the nearest star, you see 4 years into the past. To see fair is to remember. Isaac Newton separated sunlight with a prism and found that white light is made of all colors. Each color bends by a different amount, revealing a hidden spectrum. That spectrum is the fingerprint of energy itself. From red to violet, each hue carries a different wavelength, a different vibration of the same electromagnetic field. Light is the harmony of those vibrations playing together. Later scientists learned that invisible forms of light surround the visible band. Beyond red lies infrared, which we feel as warmth. Beyond violet lies ultraviolet, which carries more energy than the eye can handle. Radio waves, microwaves, X-rays, and gamma rays are all part of this one family. What differs is only wavelength, not nature. Imagine a single photon leaving the sun. It began in the heart of a nuclear furnace where hydrogen atoms fuse to form helium. That fusion releases energy, and some of it becomes light. The photon spends thousands of years bouncing among atoms inside the dense solar plasma. At last, it escapes the surface and travels freely through space. 8 minutes later, it touches your face as warmth. Sunlight nourishes the living world. On a leaf, pigments called chlorophyll capture that energy. Inside the chloroplast, water molecules split and release oxygen. The energy becomes stored in the molecules ATP and NADPH, chemical batteries that power the creation of sugar from carbon dioxide. That sugar fuels nearly every organism on Earth, directly or indirectly. Without light, there is no photosynthesis, no food chain, no breath of oxygen. Every forest, every field of grain, every cell that burns sugar owes its life to the sun. Even the oil deep underground is ancient sunlight captured by plants millions of years ago. Light is the planet's oldest inheritance. The body of every living creature keeps time with light. Inside your brain, the circadian rhythm marks the passing of day and night. When light fades, your pineal gland releases melatonin. Melatonin lowers body temperature and slows the heart. At sunrise, bright light ends that signal and wakes you with cortisol and serotonin. Every cell in your body follows the rhythm of this invisible clock. Travel across time zones or stay awake through the night and you feel jet lag, a conflict between internal and external light. Your body still thinks it is midnight while the sun insists it is morning. Gradually, the rhythm resyncs to the local sky. The cure is simple. Go outside and meet the light again. Artificial light shapes modern life, but also tests that rhythm. Screens emit blue-rich wavelengths that delay melatonin and make sleep harder to find. Warm, dim light after sunset helps the body release the hormones of rest. A few minutes of morning sunlight the next day restores balance more effectively than any alarm. Light heals in other ways too. Ultraviolet B photons trigger the skin to produce vitamin D, vital for bone strength and immune function. Doctors use gentle blue light to treat newborns with jaundice, breaking down excess bilirubin in their blood. Red and near-infrared light are studied for their ability to stimulate mitochondria and promote tissue repair. Even without sight, the body listens to light as medicine. In the depths of the ocean where sunlight never reaches, life writes its own version of illumination. Tiny organisms release a chemical flash called bioluminescence. The enzyme luciferase acts on a molecule named luciferin, producing a photon of blue-green light. Fish, jellyfish, and squid use it to hide, to hunt, or to find a mate. Some squid glow on their undersides to match the light from above, erasing their shadow so predators cannot see them. On land, fireflies use light as conversation. Each species flashes in its own rhythm, a code that attracts partners on summer nights. Their glow is cold, efficient, and silent, a perfect example of natural engineering. When you watch them, you witness chemistry speaking the language of photons. Take another deep breath. Imagine the first living cell that sensed light billions of years ago. A molecule inside that cell changed shape when hit by a photon. That change became a signal, and over time evolution turned it into eyes. The light you see tonight follows that same ancient path into your mind. Every creature that walks, swims, or flies depends on the sky above it. Plants stretch toward sunlight. Animals follow the moon and stars to migrate. Even bacteria swim toward or away from brightness. Life is not separate from light, it is shaped by it. Think of light as the heartbeat of the planet. Day and night pulse like inhalation and exhalation. With each turn of the earth, energy rises and rests again. The rhythm is constant, ancient, and kind. As the world around you darkens tonight, that same rhythm continues. Plants close their leaves, animals settle, and your own body prepares to drift. The photons that once stirred the day now rest in your memory as warmth and calm. You are ready to follow them into stillness. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a seed resting in darkness beneath the soil. Moisture surrounds it, and molecules inside wait for a signal. When light finally touches the surface of the soil above, that signal arrives. The seed responds, turning energy into motion, and the stem pushes upward toward the glow. This is phototropism, the way plants grow toward light. Cells on the shaded side of the stem stretch faster, bending the plant toward the brightness. Inside those cells, a pigment called auxin moves like a messenger, guiding the growth. In that simple motion lies the story of evolution, awareness without eyes, curiosity without thought. Light tells plants when to bloom and when to sleep. They measure the length of the day using molecules named phytochromes that change form under red and far-red light. Those changes trigger internal clocks that mark the passing of seasons. In spring, longer days awaken flowers. In autumn, shorter light nudges them to rest. Animals listen to light through the eyes, but also through the skin and brain. Birds migrate by sensing the length of daylight, a process called photoperiodism. When the days shorten, they feel an internal pull to fly south. When the light returns, they find their way back north with astonishing precision. Some fish and reptiles change color under different light to blend into their surroundings. Light is not only vision, it is instruction. Inside human eyes are rods and cones, cells tuned to different brightness and colors. Rods see in dim light and give us shape and motion. Cones detect color, red, green, and blue, and mix them into every hue we can imagine. At the back of the eye, these signals merge into the optic nerve, carrying electrical impulses to the visual cortex. There, the brain constructs what you call sight. Vision is not a camera, but a conversation between light and memory. The image you perceive is shaped as much by expectation as by the photons themselves. That is why a sunset feels warm, even though its light grows cooler in color. Your brain reads context, not just wavelength. Color itself is not a property of things, but a reaction inside you. An apple reflects certain wavelengths and absorbs others. Red is the name your mind gives to that reflected light. In darkness, the apple has no color, only potential. As you breathe, think about how light creates mood. Cool blue morning light sharpens focus and tells the brain it is time to act. Golden afternoon light relaxes you and slows thought. Dim amber light at dusk releases melatonin and prepares you for rest. Your emotions follow wavelengths like tides follow the moon. Architecture and art use this language deliberately. Cathedrals place stained glass where sunlight will ignite color across stone walls. Painters layer glazes to trap light inside pigment so it seems to glow from within. Photographers wait for what they call the golden hour, when shadows stretch long and light turns gentle. Even in design, humans reach for harmony with the rhythm of the sun. Science learned to measure that rhythm precisely. In 1676, Euler Romer timed the eclipses of Jupiter's moons and discovered that light has a finite speed. In the 19th century, Albert Michelson refined the measurement using rotating mirrors and long corridors of reflection. Every experiment confirmed the same result. Light's velocity is constant, no matter how you chase or flee from it. That constancy became the cornerstone of Einstein's relativity. From that insight came technology that now fills your everyday life. Fiber optic cables guide pulses of light through hair, thin glass threads to carry data around the planet. Each flash is a packet of photons turned into language, music, and memory. The internet itself is a river of light flowing beneath cities and oceans. You are surrounded by the whisper of photons even when the room feels still. Take another slow breath. Imagine those invisible beams traveling under your feet and through the air around you. Every message, every image, every call to a distant friend moves by light. It is the bloodstream of communication, linking one mind to another across continents. Light also carries our vision into the past. When astronomers look through telescopes, they collect ancient light that has been traveling for billions of years. The Hubble Space Telescope once captured a patch of sky so small it looked empty to the eye. After long exposure, it revealed thousands of galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars. That light began its journey when the universe was young. Later, the James Webb Space Telescope reached even farther. Its mirror unfolded in the cold of space, catching infrared light stretched by cosmic expansion. Those faint glows are fossils of creation itself, the first galaxies forming from dust and gas. Through that light, we study the dawn of time without leaving the present. Everything you see is delayed news from the cosmos. The star you admire tonight may have already ended its life, yet its light continues to arrive faithfully. In this way, the universe records its own memory through photons. Light is time made visible. Back on Earth, the same principles guide the smallest technologies. Lasers focus light so tightly that their beams can read data, cut metal, or perform delicate surgery. Each laser emits coherent photons, all marching in the same direction and phase. Compact discs, barcode scanners, and eye surgery tools all depend on that order. The word laser itself stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. From the glow of galaxies to the gleam of a small diode, the language of light remains the same. It oscillates, carries energy, and reveals structure wherever it goes. Understanding that unity helps us feel less separate from the universe that shaped us. You are not an observer of light, you are part of its dance. As you breathe out, feel how that idea settles into calm. The photons that left distant stars long before life existed are now entering your body, warming your skin and touching your eyes. They are the same substance that once sparked the first photosynthetic cell and later powered every thought you have. Light is both the messenger and the message. Let that realization slow your heartbeat. You are made of particles that once burned in ancient stars. Your mind is an echo of cosmic fire cooled into awareness. To rest under starlight is to return briefly to the beginning of everything. Stay in that stillness for a moment. The world outside your room continues to turn, carrying you gently into night. Light fades, sound softens, and gravity cradles you. You are safe in the rhythm of the universe. Let your mind drift to a quiet study lit by the glow of a single candle. Wax melts slowly, the flame bends when you breathe, and shadows tremble across paper and wood. For centuries, that faint light was enough for thinkers to explore the mysteries of the universe. The story of science is, in many ways, the story of light itself. In the 17th century, Isaac Newton spent long hours guiding sunlight through a glass prism. He watched the beam stretch into colors and understood that white light hides every hue within it. He used mirrors instead of lenses to build the first reflecting telescope and changed astronomy forever. Through that instrument he saw the moons of Jupiter and realized that light could both reveal and deceive. Each lens, each surface, each drop of air bends light differently, so what we see is always a translation, never the thing itself. In 1801, Thomas Young placed 2 narrow slits in a card and let sunlight pass through them. On the wall, he saw bright and dark bands that formed from interference between overlapping waves. That pattern meant light behaves like ripples on water, spreading and combining. The experiment seems simple, but its echo reached through centuries. Every laser, every hologram, and every modern camera rests on that same principle. Later, James Clerk Maxwell united electricity and magnetism with 4 elegant equations. They showed that changing electric fields create magnetic fields, and changing magnetic fields create electric ones. The result was a self-propagating wave that travels at the speed of light. From mathematics alone, he predicted that light is an electromagnetic vibration moving through empty space. No human had seen such waves, yet his equations whispered that they were everywhere. Decades later, Heinrich Hertz built spark transmitters and receivers that proved Maxwell right. Invisible waves leapt across his laboratory, lighting tiny sparks on distant metal plates. Radio had been born, carried by the same light, stretched to longer wavelengths. Each discovery widened the spectrum, revealing that visible light is only a small window in an infinite sea. At the dawn of the 20th century, Albert Einstein returned to light again. He explained the photoelectric effect, how shining ultraviolet light on metal knocks out electrons. That observation demanded that light sometimes acts as discrete packets of energy called photons. From that paradox, the quantum world began to unfold. Light was not simply wave or particle, but both, depending on how you listen. In 1905, Einstein also published his theory of special relativity. He showed that time and space stretch and contract so that the speed of light remains constant for everyone, everywhere. No matter how fast you move, light outruns you by the same amount. Energy and mass became two forms of one thing, connected by the equation E equals mc squared. A photon has no rest mass yet, carries momentum. It can push a comet's tail or a solar sail. A decade later, Einstein extended his idea to gravity. He imagined space-time itself bending around massive objects. Light follows that curvature, so gravity can act as a lens. In 1919, during a solar eclipse, Arthur Eddington photographed stars near the darkened sun. Their apparent shift matched Einstein's prediction exactly. The universe had confirmed that even light must bow to gravity. That insight opened the door to cosmic mapping. When a galaxy cluster lies between us and a more distant galaxy, its gravity bends and magnifies the light behind it. Astronomers call this gravitational lensing. It lets us see galaxies otherwise hidden and measure the invisible mass of dark matter that causes the bending. Light, once a mystery, became the probe that reveals everything else. The expansion of knowledge continued outward. Edwin Hubble measured the redshift of distant galaxies and found they are moving away from us. The farther they are, the faster they recede, meaning space itself is stretching. From that discovery came the concept of the Big Bang, the moment when all matter and light burst from a single point. Every photon in the sky is a relic of that explosion, still racing outward, still carrying the echo of creation. In 1965, two engineers, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, detected faint microwave noise with their radio antenna. At first they thought it was pigeons nesting inside the instrument. After cleaning and recalibrating, the signal remained, a uniform background hum from every direction in the sky. It was the afterglow of the Big Bang, light stretched into microwaves by 13 billion years of cosmic expansion. The universe itself was whispering its childhood to us. All modern cosmology is built on that faint radiation. By mapping its temperature variations, we learn how galaxies first formed, how matter clumped, and how space continues to grow. Satellites like COBE, WMAP, and Planck turned the sky into data, revealing that only 5% of the cosmos is ordinary matter. The rest is dark matter and dark energy, unseen yet inferred through their effects on light. light has become our ultimate measuring stick. Astronomers use light years as distance, spectroscopists use wavelengths as fingerprints, and physicists use photons to test quantum entanglement. In quantum experiments, two particles of light can become linked so that a change in one instantly affects the other, no matter how far apart. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. Today, that phenomenon forms the foundation of quantum communication and encryption. Yet beyond laboratories, light continues to serve simpler wonders. Through microscopes it reveals cells and bacteria, and through telescopes it unveils galaxies and nebulae. The same physical law guides both directions, small and vast, near and far. To study light is to bridge scales, to connect the invisible to the infinite. Artists and scientists have always shared that bridge. The painter Claude Monet chased how light changes water and air. His series of haystacks and cathedrals show the same subject transformed by shifting illumination. He said he wanted to paint the air itself. In that wish he joined Newton and Maxwell, seeking to understand the essence of brightness. Every culture has honored light as symbol and spirit. In myths, it stands for knowledge, hope, and life's renewal. In science, it remains the literal carrier of information. Both meanings converge when you realize that to see is to know, and to know is to be illuminated. Take a slow breath. Imagine the countless generations who looked up at the same stars and wondered what they were. They built fires, then candles, then bulbs, and finally satellites to capture that starlight. Each innovation was an act of curiosity and reverence combined. Through light, we learned not only about the cosmos, but about ourselves. Knowledge built from light is cumulative, but also humbling. The more clearly we see, the more we realize how much remains hidden. Beyond visible colors lie frequencies our eyes will never perceive, yet they surround us every moment. We live inside an ocean of radiation, tuned to one narrow octave of an endless symphony. And still, that single octave is enough to fill the human heart with wonder. Let your shoulders relax and your breath slow. Think of a single beam of moonlight crossing your room. It has bounced off the lunar surface, passed through space, and entered your world as softness. That small glow carries every law of physics within it, the story of energy, of matter, of perception. It is the most ordinary miracle imaginable. Take a moment to settle into stillness. Let your breath find its own rhythm and notice the faint glow behind your closed eyelids. Even through darkness, the eyes remain alive, sensing every trace of brightness that passes through the skin and lashes. Light is not something you simply see, it is something your entire body feels. Inside the eye, the cornea and lens focus incoming light onto a delicate sheet of tissue called the retina. There, more than 100 million tiny cells wait to receive the signal. Some of them are rods, sensitive to faint light and shades of gray. Others are cones tuned to specific ranges of color, red, green, and blue. Together, they translate waves of energy into electrical impulses that travel along the optic nerve. By the time those impulses reach your brain, they have already been transformed from photons into meaning. The miracle of sight happens quietly. Every second, your brain receives more visual data than it could ever consciously analyze. Instead, it chooses, filters, and fills gaps. What you think you see is not the raw image the eyes capture, but the story the brain builds from fragments. That process is called perception, and it is shaped by memory, emotion, and expectation as much as by light itself. Consider the phenomenon of color constancy. When a white shirt moves from sunlight into shadow, it still appears white, even though the color of the light hitting it has changed dramatically. Your brain compares surrounding cues, interprets the scene, and corrects the color so that the world stays familiar. In that adjustment lies the deep truth that we do not see things as they are. We see them as we need them to be. Optical illusions make this clear. Two squares of identical gray can look dark or light depending on what surrounds them. Parallel lines seem to bend, static images appear to move, and patterns flash even when the screen is still. The brain creates motion where there is none, brightness where darkness reigns, and edges that no photon has drawn. Vision is interpretation, not recording. Light also affects how we feel, even when we are not aware of it. In northern winters, where days are short, many people experience sadness and fatigue, called seasonal affective disorder. Therapy lamps that mimic natural sunlight can ease that heaviness by restoring the balance of serotonin and melatonin. The body does not wait for conscious permission. It listens to light directly through the eyes and skin. At dawn, the first pale rays entering your room tell your internal clock that the world is awake. Even with eyes closed, light penetrates the thin skin of your eyelids and reaches specialized receptors called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells. They send signals to the brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which then resets your rhythm for the day. That rhythm influences hormones, hunger, alertness, and temperature, a complete choreography guided by the sun. Artists, architects, and healers have always understood this connection intuitively. In temples and cathedrals, light falls through high windows to evoke serenity. In hospitals, bright daylight wards help recovery, while soft, indirect lamps ease the mind before sleep. Color therapy, though not fully scientific, continues an ancient instinct that light can balance what words cannot reach. Different colors affect mood in measurable ways. Blue light sharpens focus and suppresses melatonin, keeping the mind alert. Green relaxes the eyes, reducing strain and calming heartbeat. Red increases energy and draws attention, often used in warning lights and theater curtains. Yellow evokes warmth, optimism, and memory of sunlight. Each wavelength speaks its own emotional dialect. In the modern world, we live bathed in artificial brightness. Street lamps, screens, and digital clocks keep night from ever becoming truly dark. That constant glow can confuse the ancient rhythms built into every living thing. Sleep researchers call this phenomenon light pollution of the mind. cure is simple. Reintroduce darkness as a friend, not an enemy. True darkness is not absence but restoration. When the eyes rest, the brain reorganizes and the body repairs. Deep sleep releases growth hormones, clears waste from the brain, and resets emotional circuits. To drift into that state, we need the slow fading of light, the invitation of shadow, and the quiet of evening. Every sunset is a biological signal saying it is safe to rest now. Imagine twilight arriving over a forest. The sky cools from gold to violet, the edges of leaves blur, and a faint wind stirs the scent of pine. Animals pause their movement as the light lowers. Owls begin to call, guided by the last traces of illumination. Everything slows in unison with the falling brightness. That relationship between light and attention is also reflected in the human mind. Bright light activates regions of the brain linked to alertness and planning. Dim light quiets them, shifting control toward imagination and introspection. It is why inspiration so often visits at night, when external vision fades and inner vision begins. When you dream, your brain simulates light entirely from memory. You see landscapes and skies that no photon ever touched. Neurons fire in patterns identical to those used for waking sight. The mind paints with remembered brightness to create its own universe. Scientists studying lucid dreams use flickering lights on closed eyelids to influence awareness inside sleep. The brain can recognize the rhythm of flashing and incorporate it into the dream itself, allowing a sleeper to know they are dreaming. This experiment shows that even in deepest rest, light remains the bridge between worlds. The perception of light is not limited to eyes alone. Skin contains photoreceptors that help regulate circadian rhythm. Molecules like cryptochrome and melanopsin respond directly to brightness, affecting hormone release and cellular repair. You are covered in silent senses, listening to the world through photons. Take another deep breath and think of all the forms of light invisible to you yet essential to life. Infrared carries warmth, ultraviolet sterilizes air and water, and gamma rays from distant supernovas create elements heavier than iron. Your bones, your blood, and the gold on your ring owe their existence to those ancient bursts of radiation. Even what you cannot see still shapes what you are. The human eye detects only a narrow range of wavelengths between about 400 and 700 nanometers. To a bee or butterfly, the world glows with ultraviolet patterns we can never witness. To a snake, infrared outlines every warm body in darkness. Each creature sees a different truth, each valid within its own design. Perception, then, is a negotiation between biology and environment. Light offers information, the brain chooses meaning. Even sound and touch are forms of energy translated into sensation by specialized organs. In that sense, reality itself is interpretation, a shared dream built from waves and signals. The next time you open your eyes after rest, notice how light returns gradually. Pupils widen, focus sharpens, and colors bloom one by one. That moment between sleep and awareness is the mind's most peaceful threshold. It is the daily rehearsal of creation, darkness giving birth to sight. As you rest now, you are performing the same act in reverse. Your attention softens, your thoughts dissolve, and light fades gently behind your eyelids. The brain begins to drift from perception to imagination, from waking to dreaming. You are surrendering to the universe's oldest rhythm, the alternation between illumination and shadow. Stay with that rhythm. Breathe in the memory of daylight and breathe out into the comfort of night. There is no rush, only motion too slow to notice. You are part of the same gentle cycle that turns galaxies, tides, and heartbeats. The photons that once blazed from stars are now whispers in your nerves, guiding you toward rest. They have traveled across time and matter to become sensation and calm. They are the oldest storytellers, and tonight their story is simply this: it is time to let go. Imagine yourself floating far beyond the atmosphere, where the air thins to nothing and silence becomes complete. The earth glows below like a lantern, half in shadow, half in sun. From here, light is not only illumination but structure. It defines every shape, every movement, every boundary of the known world. Without light there is no space, only unmeasured distance waiting to be seen. All around you are stars, each one a sphere of plasma suspended by its own gravity. They burn by fusing hydrogen into helium, releasing photons that will travel for billions of years before touching another surface. The light you see now left its home long before humanity learned to walk upright. It has crossed regions of emptiness so vast that our words for them, parsecs, light years, megaparsecs, are only metaphors for patience. Every star you see is a moment in history preserved in motion. When you look up, you become a witness to time itself. Light does not age, it only travels. It only travels. Each photon holds the memory of where it began, carrying within it the conditions of birth, temperature, pressure, composition, and motion. Astronomers read those messages the way archivists read ancient scrolls, carefully, reverently, decoding color into meaning. A star's light spreads into a spectrum of colors when passed through a prism or a diffraction grating. The pattern of lines within that spectrum tells what elements burn in its heart. Sodium makes yellow, hydrogen makes red and blue, oxygen glows green in nebulae where stars are born. These lines are the fingerprints of atoms, and every atom in your body once sang the same spectral tune inside a star. Between those stars lies the interstellar medium, thin clouds of hydrogen, helium, dust, and organic molecules drifting between systems. Each grain of dust is smaller than smoke, yet vast in consequence. They absorb and scatter light, shaping the color of galaxies, sculpting the view from telescopes, creating the reddish glow of distant horizons. Within those clouds, new stars form as gravity draws matter together until it ignites. Inside one of those clouds, 5 billion years ago, our own sun was born. The leftover debris became planets, moons, and comets, fragments that still reflect sunlight as faint sparks in the night sky. Every beam that reaches your eyes tonight is both ancient and new, ancient in origin, new in the act of being seen. You are part of that conversation between birth and observation. Look farther still. Beyond the nearby stars are galaxies, immense collections of hundreds of billions of suns bound together by gravity. The Milky Way, our home, spirals outward like a great glowing river of dust and fire. Each band you see across the sky on a clear night is the combined light of those countless distant stars, softened by the haze of intervening gas. Beyond our galaxy lie trillions more. Some are small and irregular, others are perfect spirals or glowing ellipses. Their light takes millions of years to arrive, and in that delay, we glimpse their past. Astronomers look into that distance and see history unfolding in reverse, galaxies colliding, merging, and giving birth to new generations of stars. The Hubble Space Telescope once aimed at what seemed like an empty patch of sky no larger than a grain of sand held at arm's length. After weeks of collecting photons, it revealed thousands of galaxies, each one a cosmic city of suns and planets. The universe, once thought infinite and static, revealed itself as vast and dynamic, filled with light that never stops moving. Even darkness is only space waiting for light to arrive. When we measure how far galaxies are and how quickly they move apart, we find that the universe itself is expanding. Space is not empty, it stretches. As it does, light traveling through it becomes longer in wavelength, its color shifting toward red. This redshift tells us that the further we look, the faster galaxies move away. It is the echo of the universe's birth, the afterglow of the Big Bang stretched thin by time. Faint microwave radiation fills all of space. It is the cooled remnant of the universe's first light, the cosmic background left over from when everything was still dense and hot. In that faint glow we can trace the first tiny fluctuations that grew into galaxies, stars, and planets. We are literally made from the ripples of that early light. Cosmologists study this background to measure the age, shape, and fate of the universe. From their work, we know that space is expanding faster than expected, driven by something unseen called dark energy. It fills the void, pushing galaxies apart, accelerating the cosmic rhythm. No one knows exactly what it is, but its existence is written in the motion of light. Dark matter, too, reveals itself only through illumination. We cannot see it directly, but we see how its gravity bends and magnifies light from distant galaxies. That bending, called gravitational lensing, acts like a natural telescope sculpted by mass itself. Through these invisible lenses, astronomers map the unseen skeleton of the cosmos. Every new telescope extends our sight and our imagination. The James Webb Space Telescope peers into infrared light, detecting warmth from stars and planets that formed just after the first galaxies. It sees through cosmic dust to regions where new suns are still being born. Each image it sends back is a time capsule from billions of years ago, a portrait of what the universe looked like when it was young. Even older light exists, beyond the reach of any instrument. It comes from the moment before atoms formed, when the universe was pure plasma, a haze of charged particles scattering every photon. That ancient light was trapped until expansion cooled the cosmos enough for atoms to emerge and let it go free. We still bathe in that release today. It surrounds every planet, every person, every thought. Light defines the visible universe, but beyond it stretches darkness rich with potential. In that darkness are neutrinos, gravitational waves, and perhaps other kinds of radiation still unknown. Our instruments evolve, and with each refinement we translate more of the cosmos into human understanding. Every time we learn to see a little farther, we discover that there is more to see still. Take another breath and imagine yourself drifting at the edge of intergalactic space. The nearest galaxy is a faint smudge. Behind it, the light of countless others forms a soft, endless glow. There is no sound, no air, no ground, only light and time flowing together like a river without banks. You are small, yet made of the same atoms that shine in stars. The photons that strike your eyes tonight have traveled through magnetic fields, dust clouds, and gravity wells. They have survived collisions, absorption, scattering, and decay. They arrive changed but persistent, proof that information can cross eternity without fading completely. When you see them, you complete their journey. You become part of the story they began. Every act of observation ties you to the cosmos. When you look at the night sky, you are not an outsider gazing in. You are the universe aware of itself. That awareness is rare and precious, a flicker of consciousness made possible by light traveling from unimaginable distances. Through you, the cosmos finally sees itself. In some far future, the expansion of space will stretch light so much that distant galaxies will fade beyond visibility. To those who live then, the universe will appear smaller and darker, though it will be no less vast. Our era, rich in light, may be the universe's brief season of visibility. To witness it is a privilege written in photons. Now return your thoughts closer to home. Picture the Milky Way arching overhead like a trail of powdered silver. Some of that light comes from stars, only a few hundred light years away. Some has traveled for tens of thousands. Together, they weave the story of everything we have been and everything we will become. As you breathe, imagine inhaling that starlight, not with your lungs, but with your mind. Let it fill the space behind your eyes with calm radiance. You are part of the same field that holds galaxies together. Your heartbeat and their rotation are both rhythms of energy and gravity. You are light slowed down, folded into matter, living briefly before returning to energy again. You are the universe remembering itself, resting between pulses of creation. Every cell in your body once existed as free atoms forged in a star that has long since gone dark. When you sleep, you mirror the universe, expanding into dreams, contracting into silence. Now, the stars above dim slightly in your imagination. Their light continues to travel, but for you, it softens into memory. You are descending gently from cosmic thought to personal stillness. Let the last images of galaxies fade as your awareness begins to rest. In the silence that follows, know that you remain part of the luminous web that spans creation. Every flicker of light, every spark of thought, every quiet breath is a continuation of that same beginning. The story of light is also the story of rest, energy rising and falling, becoming form, then peace. Let that truth settle in your chest like warmth. You do not need to chase the stars, they already live inside you. Their light flows through your blood and your thoughts, guiding you toward gentle stillness. It is safe to close your eyes now and drift within that glow. Imagine the passage of time as a beam of light stretching across the void. It begins somewhere far away and moves forward endlessly, never slowing, never turning back. You exist upon that beam, a point of awareness illuminated for a brief instant before the next moment shines. Everything that has ever lived, every thought ever formed, rides upon this current of light. Time and light are inseparable. When physicists describe the speed of light, they also describe the boundary of time itself. For light, there is no before or after. Its entire journey exists all at once, from emission to arrival. From our perspective, that journey unfolds across minutes, centuries, or eons, but to the photon, it is a single unbroken moment. Imagine watching sunlight glint off a river. Each sparkle is a reflection delayed by 8 minutes, the time it takes light to cross the space between sun and earth. Those glittering waves are 8-minute-old memories, arriving just now to meet your eyes. Every reflection, every shimmer, is a small reunion between present and past. Einstein once said that for a beam of light, time does not pass. That means each photon leaving the sun and touching your face exists in one continuous act of being. It was born, traveled, and arrived all in the same breathless instant. When you feel its warmth, you touch eternity disguised as sunlight. In that sense, sleep is also a kind of time travel. When you close your eyes, your mind releases the anchors of seconds and hours. Dreams unfold outside ordinary order. One moment you are flying, the next you are a child again, then you are drifting through space. The experience is seamless because within dreams, time behaves like light, everywhere at once, unhindered, unhurried. The rhythm of waking and sleeping follows the same cosmic pattern. The earth turns beneath the sun, light fades, darkness returns, energy rests, then renews. Each day is a rotation, each night a reset, an ancient synchronization between body and star. Even when you are unaware, your cells count the hours by photons. Consider your heartbeat. It is a pulse of motion, a vibration of energy within matter. Each beat generates a small electromagnetic field, tiny compared to a star's but built upon the same laws. In every rhythm you are echoing the same dance as the universe: oscillation, balance, return. Now imagine the clock of the cosmos itself. Galaxies rotate once every few 100 million years. Stars are born, shine, and die, scattering their elements back into space to form the next generation. Every birth of light carries the memory of what came before. When a massive star collapses, its core becomes so dense that even light cannot escape. We call that region a black hole, not because it is empty, but because it traps time inside itself. Around it, space stretches so extremely that what falls in never reaches the edge from our point of view. Light slows, redshifts, and fades into stillness. At the very center of each galaxy, including ours, lies such a black hole. Its gravity shapes the motion of billions of stars, sculpting the spiral arms you see in images of the Milky Way. Though invisible, it defines everything around it, the unseen center of a vast, luminous wheel. The darkness of a black hole is not absence but containment, a pause within the sentence of creation. Scientists once believed nothing could escape from a black hole, but now we know that energy does leak out in subtle ways. Stephen Hawking showed that quantum effects near the event horizon allow particles and radiation to emerge slowly over eons. Even the deepest darkness glows faintly with borrowed light. In time, even black holes will evaporate, returning their energy to the cosmos as the softest whisper imaginable. You are part of this same grand exchange. Every moment of warmth in your body, every thought in your mind will one day return to the universe as light or motion. Nothing is truly lost, it only changes form. Energy transforms but never ends, a constant recycling of brightness through different faces. Time, like light, is continuous, yet you experience it in fragments. You remember the past, imagine the future, and live only in the instant between them. But physics tells us that past, present, and future coexist, different coordinates along the same space-time fabric. When you rest deeply, the mind lets go of linear time and joins that larger flow. Close your eyes and picture that fabric as a gentle field of silver threads stretching in every direction. Each thread is a path of light linking one event to another, one heartbeat to another. When you breathe, those threads vibrate softly, time resonating with life. You are not moving through time, time moves through you. The photons around you today will continue long after your lifetime, carrying traces of your existence. Some may bounce off your skin, reflect from your window, and journey into interstellar space. In 1,000 years, they might touch the sensor of a distant probe or the surface of another planet. Your light will travel farther than your body ever could. In that sense, you are already immortal through radiance. Your laughter, your voice, even the heat from your breath become part of the background of the universe. Every human who ever lived added a small shimmer to that collective glow. Together we form a constellation of memory scattered across space-time. Take a deep breath and feel how time slows when you pay attention. Awareness stretches moments wider, allowing more light to enter. That is the same principle telescopes use when they capture faint galaxies. Long exposure gathers more photons, revealing what was hidden. Your stillness is your own telescope, gathering subtle light from the present moment. The slower you breathe, the brighter the moment becomes. In meditation, monks speak of enlightenment not as sudden brightness, but as quiet seeing, awareness expanding like dawn. They say each of us is a lantern already lit, needing only stillness to notice the glow. To know light is to know rest. In the silence between breaths, the pulse of time fades. You become part of the steady background hum of the universe, the same resonance heard in cosmic radiation, in the vibration of atoms, in the beating of your heart. This is the shared frequency of existence, a song without beginning or end. Listen to it as it carries you softly toward sleep. As your mind grows heavier, light itself begins to dim in your thoughts. Images soften, edges blur, and sound becomes distant. You are descending through layers of consciousness like sunlight filtering through water. Each layer gentler, cooler, quieter. Breathe once more, slowly and deeply. Let every exhale be a release of tension, a letting go of everything the day has held. You are not losing time, you are returning to the space between moments. There, light rests too, not gone, simply waiting to shine again. You are drifting now, halfway between waking and sleep. The thoughts that once had sharp edges begin to blur, their outlines softened by calm. Your body is weightless, your breath steady, and the world feels distant but kind. In this quiet threshold, light becomes something internal. No longer the glow of stars or lamps, but a shimmer of awareness itself. Dreams are made of that inner light. When you dream, your brain creates brightness and shadow without photons. Neurons in the visual cortex fire as though they are seeing, even in complete darkness. You walk through luminous landscapes that exist only in electricity and memory. Light has moved from the outside world to the mind's imagination. Every creature experiences a version of this night illumination. Cats twitch their whiskers while chasing invisible prey. Birds dream of flight, their wings moving slightly in rhythm. Even whales deep beneath the ocean hum softly while they sleep, echoing unseen visions in the dark water. All life drifts through its own sea of inner light. Scientists call this REM sleep, rapid eye movement. During this phase, the body is still, but the brain becomes active, replaying fragments of experience and emotion. It is thought that dreams help integrate memory, regulating emotion and creativity. They are the mind's way of restoring balance, turning confusion into story, tension into release. Sometimes, light even enters your dreams from the real world. A flicker from a street lamp, a reflection from passing headlights, a moonbeam slipping through the curtain. The mind weaves them into the narrative, a candle in a hallway, a sunrise through mist, a spark floating in the air. Reality and imagination overlap seamlessly under the gentle hand of light. There is a special kind of dream called lucid dreaming, when the sleeper becomes aware they are dreaming. The body remains asleep, but consciousness wakes inside the dream world. In that state, light becomes a bridge between dimensions. Researchers found that flashing soft lights over closed eyes can help sleepers realize they are dreaming without waking them. Even when shut away, the brain listens for light. Your own dreams are built from the same material as stars, energy transforming into pattern. The same electromagnetic principles that govern galaxies govern your thoughts. Each neuron fires a spark of electricity, releasing chemicals that communicate through tiny flashes of potential. In every second, billions of microscopic bursts occur in silence. The ancient mystics said that the soul is light, not metaphorically, but literally. They described radiance leaving the body in sleep and returning with the dawn. Modern instruments cannot measure such light, but perhaps they were describing the mind's electrical storm, the biophotons emitted by living cells. Even today, scientists have detected faint emissions of visible light from the human body, especially the head and chest. Those photons are millions of times weaker than what the eye can see, yet they exist. They are byproducts of metabolism, signs of oxidation and renewal within cells. Your body, even in darkness, shines faintly. You are a constellation hidden beneath skin, a quiet lantern made of atoms once lit inside stars. The glow of dreams continues that lineage. Every night you recreate the universe inside your skull, filling it with imagined suns, moons, and reflections. Sometimes those dreams carry messages in familiar forms, loved ones speaking, doors opening, landscapes shifting between memory and invention. They are the echoes of your own mind, talking in the language of light. Dreaming is not waste, it is integration. It clears emotional pathways, repairs synapses, and restores creativity. In dreamless nights, the mind feels heavy, as though unfinished thoughts linger in corners waiting to be illuminated. Dreams are the nightly housekeeping of consciousness, a gentle sweep of light through every hidden room. Sometimes you awaken from a dream filled with wonder or sadness, unsure of its meaning. But meaning is not the point, experience is. Dreams are how the subconscious breathes, releasing pressure through imagery instead of words. When you remember them, you are witnessing your mind's own light painting across the canvas of sleep. Close your eyes now and notice what colors remain in the darkness behind your lids. You might see faint reds or blues, like after images from a sunset. Those are traces of your retina adjusting, a reminder that perception never fully stops. The universe continues within you, even when the world around you sleeps. Let yourself drift further. Imagine floating through a sea of golden dust, each grain a thought, each sparkle a memory. They drift past slowly, glowing and fading as they merge into one another. You are both observer and participant in that silent river of consciousness. In deeper stages of sleep, brain waves slow to delta rhythms, long, gentle oscillations that mirror the heartbeat of the earth. Your body temperature drops, muscles release tension, and healing begins at a cellular level. The immune system strengthens, tissues repair, and hormones rebalance. Sleep is light turned inward for restoration. Scientists once recorded the electromagnetic pulses produced by the human brain during deep sleep. They found that the energy pattern looked like faint waves of light on a vast dark ocean. Each pulse was a spark of synchronization, billions of neurons firing in unison, a silent chorus of restoration. You are, in essence, glowing quietly as you rest. This is the true language of light, rhythm, pattern, harmony. Not the blinding flash of stars or the brilliance of cities, but the soft coordination of existence repeating itself. Every breath, every thought, every dream follows that same rhythm. All life is pulsing in sync with light, and through that pulse, balance returns. As you drift deeper, light begins to change shape. It is no longer separate from you. It becomes your awareness, diffused like mist over still water. Thoughts melt, sound fades, and only warmth remains. You are resting in the same calm that fills the space between stars. There is nothing to do, nothing to solve, only to be. The photons that once rushed from distant galaxies now linger softly in your cells, like echoes of creation soothing every part of you. You are both ancient and immediate, vast and small, asleep and awake in the same breath. This is the quiet illumination of dreams, the light that does not need to shine. Now the edges of awareness begin to dissolve completely. You are no longer observing. You are part of the dream itself. Your breathing and the hum of the universe merge into a single pulse, infinite and slow. You are floating in timeless light. Let yourself rest there, untouched by urgency. You are safe, guided, and whole. When you awaken, you will carry this stillness with you, a reminder that even in darkness, light endures. For now, let the stars keep watch while you sleep. You are almost weightless now. The world has grown quiet, as if even time is breathing softly beside you. What remains is not thought or form, but a slow rhythm, the movement of life itself continuing beneath awareness. Here, light and dark no longer compete. They hold each other in balance. Darkness is not absence. It is potential, the place where stars are born, where seeds germinate, where rest gives rise to creation. The universe spends most of its existence in that stillness, a quiet so vast it humbles every sound. What we call sleep is simply our return to that same cosmic equilibrium. Every living thing seeks that restoration. Oh! Trees fold their leaves inward at night to conserve energy. Flowers close their petals, oceans slow their waves, and even the wind softens as air cools and pressure evens out. The planet itself rests in its orbit, rocking gently in solar rhythm. And you too are part of that grand exhale. Your breathing has aligned with Earth's pulse, your body tuned to the same tempo that governs tides and seasons. Each inhale is the universe awakening, each exhale the universe returning to peace. You are not separate from this motion. You are its expression. There's a kind of grace in darkness. Without it, no eye could perceive, no color could exist, no rest could renew what is weary. Light shows us the world, but darkness allows us to understand it. It invites the body to surrender and the mind to wander without effort. When the sun sets, it does not disappear. It continues to shine elsewhere, touching another horizon. Likewise, when you close your eyes, your awareness does not vanish. It shifts to another state of seeing. You travel inward, following the light that glows quietly behind your eyelids. That light is your consciousness resting, but never extinguished. The great astronomer Johannes Kepler once said that the harmony of the world is made visible in light. Yet he also believed that darkness was the silent counterpart, the space that gives shape to melody. Without shadow, no note would be distinct, no heartbeat would have rhythm, no night would ever feel like peace. The universe itself is composed of contrast, radiance, and quiet woven together in endless compensation. In ancient times, sailors navigated by starlight, trusting the dark sea to hold their course. You can do the same within yourself. Let the stars of your mind, the calm thoughts, the small joys, the soft gratitude guide you through the ocean of rest. You need not steer. The current already knows where to carry you. Now imagine the light within you dimming to a gentle ember. It glows faintly at the center of your chest, steady and warm. With each breath, that glow softens, fading just enough to blend with the darkness around it. This is not loss, it is merging, becoming part of something larger. The energy that powers your heartbeat is the same energy that fuels the stars. It never stops, only changes shape. Even as you sleep, countless atoms within you exchange light, signaling, healing, rebuilding. You are never truly still. You are simply aligning with the slowest, deepest rhythm there is. Now the cosmos seems to fold gently around you. Galaxies drift like lanterns on a dark river, their reflections shimmering through your thoughts. You are both the observer and the water itself, endless and calm. The night sky is not above you, it is within you, mapped in every pulse of blood and spark of neuron. Let go of every trace of tension. Release the weight of memory, the chatter of the day, the echo of unfinished thoughts. They dissolve into the black canvas of peace where stars are born again. Even gravity feels optional here, as if the universe itself is holding you gently in place. There is no more distinction between inside and outside, self and sky. Everything is one field of quiet vibration, the hum beneath existence. This is what physicists call the quantum vacuum, the ground state of everything, and mystics call stillness, presence, or eternity. Different words for the same silent energy that now cradles you. If thoughts appear, let them pass through like meteors streaking across a dark horizon. They glow briefly, then vanish without effort. You do not need to hold them. Their passing only reminds you of the stillness that remains when they're gone. The mind clears, the stars quiet, and only peace remains. In this peace there is clarity. You understand that you are not separate from the universe's story. You are a chapter written in light, resting between sentences. The silence now is not empty but full, brimming with possibility, waiting for the next dawn. This is the space creation uses to breathe. Somewhere far away, a star collapses and another is born. Planets spin, comets pass, and distant galaxies drift in graceful arcs. The same forces shaping them are shaping you: gravity, heat, rhythm, time. You are part of that eternal choreography. Take one last slow breath. Feel how the air moves gently through you, how your chest rises and falls like a tide under moonlight. The night is complete now. Everything is aligned, everything at rest. You are safe, weightless, and whole. The light that began this story still shines, but softly now, behind your closed eyes. It will wait there, patient, until you wake again to see the world renewed. For now, you can surrender fully to gravity, to breath, to the calm dark that holds all beginnings. Sleep deeply, traveler of the stars. And as you drift into dreams, remember this: the same light that burns in the farthest galaxy also flickers within you. No matter how far you wander, you are never separate from the cosmos. You are the night, the light, and the silence between. Rest now, and let the universe keep its watch.